We're talking about another daft subject today in the Jurassic fandom that only a few people care about. So this video isn't really going to be engaging for most of you watching. It's only going to be really engaging, I hope, for those of you who actually care about this topic and know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the dinosaur man inflamed some people on Twitter by posting that the Rex that the Spino killed was meant to be the Buck Rex from the Lost World, and that's something Joe would do because he thought he was returning to form, and Jurassic Park 3 is full of pot shots against the Lost World. Colin does a similar thing in Jurassic World when the Rex smashes the Spino skeleton. Seems like pretty box standard stuff to me. Yep, Spinosaurus skeleton gets smashed by the T-Rex because the filmmakers are like, we're putting the T-Rex as top dog on the silver screen once again. And when Jurassic Park 3 came out, they had the Spinosaurus kill the T-Rex, even replacing it in the logo as a way of saying, you know, you've had these two movies where T-Rex is top dog, we're going to knock it down, done. And in order to do that, they had a scene where Spinosaurus kills the T-Rex, and when they filmed that scene, they used the same animatronic of the T-Rex from the Lost World, refurbished it, and that's what it went up against. Now, most fans out there, I'm fully aware that most fans out there believe that the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 is a different T-Rex from the male T-Rex seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park. I fully accept that most people, because I was once one of you, just thought, that's just a different T-Rex. Never really questioning why I believed that, but here we are, and we'll get on to why later on. But it was only like a few years ago when the whole debate was going on Twitter about, you know, the T-Rex design in Jurassic World not being consistent with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. People were saying it needed to be more consistent and look the same. And I brought two things to the table there. One was that I don't think, you know, there's two designs in Jurassic Park, the animatronic and the CGI T-Rex. They blended them as best they could at the time to make the T-Rex for Jurassic World, because they wanted to sort of have hints of both designs, the way the animatronic looked and the CGI one, to sort of make a blend to have this new singular design to move forward with. But there was two reactions to that. One was mine, where I was like, I looked at it and went, hey, I can see both the animatronic and the CGI in this T-Rex. Great, look, it's the Jurassic Park T-Rex, done. There were other people who went, look, there were two different designs in the original Jurassic Park. They're iconic. This new one is a blend, so thus it doesn't look like either of them. And that was that whole debate. But I also brought into to the table the second point, that they were complaining about inconsistency, yet they would overlook the really consistent T-Rex that existed between the Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. So consistent because they used the same animatronic, and I was using it as a meme to be like, you know, oh, yeah, you overlook this consistency because this is inconsistent. It was a questioning of how fans juggle consistency in their head to try and better understand it. And then the meme grew for me when Jurassic World Dominion came out, and I'm going to pull up my tweet that I just put out a few minutes ago that covered this. Yeah, so Jurassic World Dominion comes out, and there's two T-Rexes seen at the end of the movie that come out of the woods, and Colin Trevorrow has stated, as someone pointed out in my notifications right now, two people in fact, have put the tweet from Colin, which you can't see there, saying, you know, someone asked, is the T-Rex family at the end of Jurassic World Dominion Rexy, Doe and the Buck from the Lost World? And Colin said yes. I worked with Colin before Jurassic World Dominion was coming out. He told me how he wanted to bring back the Tyrannosaur family at the end of that movie, and I was like, okay, that's your vision, brilliant, let's go for it. At the time, I wasn't really thinking too much about whether I agreed the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 was the Buck. I was using it as a meme. It didn't really bother me. Anyway, I was like, it was just more of a fun as jabbing at the inconsistency people were complaining about with the Jurassic World T-Rex to the Jurassic Park T-Rex. Then I saw Dominion, and the two T-Rexes that appeared at the end of the movie don't look like the Buck and Doe from the Lost World. They have different patterns. They seem to have slightly different colorations to the ones in those films. and they just look exactly the same. Those two T-Rexes at the end of the Jurassic World Dominion are the same model, copy and pasted. So for me, as a fan who loves consistency, who's worked on trying to make this franchise as consistent as possible within the canon, that annoyed me. It was the same sort of thing as the map in Fallen Kingdom not being consistent with the map in Jurassic World and the whole lagoon shifting. Or the lack of consistency when, you know, you have the T-Rex in Fallen Kingdom doesn't have much damage from the Indominus on it, even though the Indominus probably did more damage to it than the Raptors did in Jurassic Park. But anyway, I love consistency. I love it when they take the details, the devil's in the details, so if they make it consistent, that makes me happy. And I know there are fans out there who are like that. So anyway, the two T-Rexes appear at the end of Jurassic World Dominion. And in my head, I instantly just think, yeah, they're just two random T-Rexes. And I respect Colin's sentimentality to try and have some fan service. But I don't like the execution. And so that's my opinion. I don't like the execution. So in my head, those two T-Rexes are two random T-Rexes from Sauna. But it actually enhanced my original meme into an actual opinion of mine now, that the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 is Buck. It's the male T-Rex from the Lost World, because they use the same animatronic and the CGI character looks pretty identical, more identical than the one at the end of Jurassic World Dominion. So you can call it headcanon, I don't care, because I love consistency, and this is, you know, the most consistent in my opinion. But anyway, I've been on Twitter today, and those of you who are probably watching this video, I mean, I'm getting all these sorts of replies. I've had people block me over this. This is just so stupid. But yeah, I made jokey tweets like this, which no one cares about, but I was saying that, you know, there's no dialogue in Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, or Jurassic World Dominion to say that the T-Rex in it is the one from the first film. We only know it by the scars, yet we're told by fans to ignore the scars on the T-Rex seen in Jurassic Park 3 because why should we overlook that detail? That's the big thing. I don't get why people don't want it to be Buck. I guess it might be because they're sentimental towards that dinosaur character and they don't want to see it die. Personally, I don't care. I don't care. These are dinosaurs that run around and kill each other on this relatively small land mass. So I don't care if Buck got killed. It's a T-Rex. It's like, it doesn't really mean anything to me. If anything, it enhances the Spinosaurus' story, because it basically shows, you see that dinosaur you've seen in the last movie causing all this chaos just get taken out instantly. You don't want to mess with the Spinosaurus, basically. Yeah, so I take the scars into consideration, and yeah. In terms of the brightness, though, I want to talk about that, because in this shot here, which I've got up on Photoshop, this is the only time, actually, you know what? I'm just going to go back to Twitter because I want to bring up something. This one here, little tweet that says, from Deck, the colours are completely different though. The bull is much brighter than the buck. Even the games show this. And I posted a little bit of a meme reply, which again, probably just been ignored. I don't know why. The Lost World game shows a very bright green T-Rex. But this got me thinking, so yeah, let's go into Photoshop here. This is the shot from the Lost World that I believe is the only time in the film really that shows the T-Rex, the male T-Rex, in a sort of quasi-daytime. It's still kind of like dark, and judging by the shadows, it looks like it's going to be dusk or dawn or whatever. But that's the best we can see the buck T-Rex, and this is from the 4K Blu-ray. So you can see here it's green with white, and it's got these like stripes on its back and all that jazz. Now I found this shot here, this from the making of Jurassic Park 3, and it's a turntable of the T-Rex. And those keen-eyed viewers who are watching this right now might notice that the background is, if I can pull it up, the same mountain range. It's the same shot here. So you've got that little peak over there that goes up, and that little peak is there. And then you can see over here to the right, there's this like pole, and there's some bushes, and then in the final shot of the film, look, well, it's not a pole, it's a tree trunk that's been cut, it looks like, but there's some bushes there. So that is the T-Rex from Jurassic Park 3 against the same background as the one from The Lost World. Now, if we take this as a screen cap and move it over into this version, we can see that maybe the reason people think this is a brighter colour is down to two things. One, these making of videos, if you look at the colour difference, I mean, look how bright that looks compared to, look at the mountain range and the trees and the grass and all that, and then compare it to that. Like, there is colour difference there, right? And also the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 is seen predominantly in the daytime compared to how we see it in The Lost World, where it's predominantly at night, except for this one shot at the end. So that got me thinking, well, if we've got the Jurassic Park 3 T-Rex here on the same background as the one from The Lost World, let's match the colours and we can see how much brighter and what has changed between the colorations. Because I will admit that, you know, the animatronic for the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3, I hear a lot of people say they repainted it, which is technically true, but they didn't repaint and change the pattern, they just refurbished it, and that's their words from their website. They refurbished the animatronic because they don't last that long, so they wanted to brighten its colours, like make it pop a bit more to how it probably looked when they found it in storage. But they didn't remove the scars, they didn't do anything like that, they just kept it looking the same. And I've got pictures here to compare how the animatronic looked in The Lost World to how it looked in Jurassic Park 3, and it's nigh on identical, pretty much the same as far as I can tell. But yeah, so the CGI one is where it comes down to, and I'm willing to admit that I believe there might be some pattern differences between the CGI one in Jurassic Park 3 to the CGI one seen in The Lost World. However, check this out. So there's the one from the turntable, there's the one from The Lost World, with the colours matched. Okay, so, as best as I could do it, taking this little low pixel version of the T-Rex against those mountains, I have done my best to try and match them. And as you can see there, it's not brighter at all. It's like, as best I could do it looks exactly the same in terms of how bright they are. Now, here's the interesting things, okay? Obviously, between Jurassic Park 3, or The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, the filmmakers in the behind-the-scenes videos have talked about how they, you know, get different bump textures, the technology has progressed, all that sort of stuff. So there will be differences between the Jurassic Park 3 CGI model and the one from The Lost World, because they also, I believe, refurbished the CGI model in Jurassic Park 3. However, we're talking patterns here, okay? Because the CGI model of the T-Rex changed between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, but we all accept that that's the same one. So it doesn't matter if this has a different bump texture to this one or whatever, it's my point. But the patterning, okay? So they look pretty similar to me. I can see here on the one in The Lost World, on its leg, there is this stripy pattern here, there's one up here, and there's a sort of whitish blob there, okay? Now bear in mind, this is at a different angle, but I can see on this one here, dark pattern here, dark stripe here, looks like there's a dark stripe there, maybe there, but there is this white blob on the back of its leg here. So the patterns on its legs seem to, patterns on its leg seem to match. And there's this shot here from Jurassic Park 3 which I have actually enhanced the lightness to see, and as you can see here, there is the dark stripe, there's the other dark stripe, there's the whitish bit on the back of its leg, and there's two dots there. Are they on the one from The Lost World? I mean, there are. Where are they on that one? Okay, they're sort of around there. Yeah, there are dots. Okay, so there are dots. There's one there and one there, but maybe they're slightly different. And then you can see here on the one in Jurassic Park 3, yeah, there's got this sort of whitish underbelly, underbelly, which sort of goes up here, and the one in The Lost World, as you can see, does have that as well. Like this whole section here is lighter, and even the belly. And they got the stripes on the back, and we can't see it here, it's got the stripes on the back. We just can't see the tail. I feel like the tail of the Lost World T-Rex might help even more, but we don't see the tail of the male T-Rex in the daytime. I'm trying to think where we might see it at night. Let me see if I can pull something up really quickly. And while I'm pulling this up, I just want to say, like, I am actively looking for ways that I'm wrong. That's the point. I'm trying my best to actually find where I might be wrong. And obviously I'm willing to admit that the patterns on the tail might not match. Okay, so I pulled up this shot from The Lost World, which I think is the best look at the T-Rex walking down the street. And as we can see, I don't know if I'm going to be right here, but we'll have a look. Oh, I mean, the greens start to come out a bit more. As we can see here, okay, so its tail predominantly has 2 circles there. I mean, I can see the circles on the tail here. There are dots there. I mean, it's pretty consistent. It's pretty consistent. So, yeah. So if we take this shot here and just look at that, I think even the CGI models were pretty much the same. There are these dots up here on the shoulder blades. These ones here, which I admit you can't really see on this one, as far as I can tell. Unless, okay, this shot here, but obviously the T-Rex turns and the shadows cast over the area, so I don't know if those dots are there. They might actually be... They might not actually be there. Yeah, it's really hard to tell because the way... I mean, look, all the patterning's gone off its face, so there's not... It's really hard to see the patterning in this light. So, yeah, it's difficult to tell whether this pattern up here is sort of up above its shoulder. It's like up there. It's quite hard to see if it's even there or not. But yeah, anyway, enough of this. This is why I think that the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 is the one from The Lost World. I like consistency, and I like to think that what I see on screen, I try and just keep it as consistent as possible, basically, is the long and short of it. I've probably been waffling on way too long about this, but yeah. Anyway, I'm getting replies from people. Okay, look, what's Alice saying? Here we go, got some fresh content. Look. Because it would break... Wait, what is she replying to? Oh, I said, why are fans so desperate for Buck to be alive? These are dinosaurs that hunted and killed one another all day long on a relatively tiny landmass. I said this earlier in the video. They aren't Marvel superheroes. Because it would break the law if Buck died in Jurassic Park 3 and then came back to dead to appear in Jurassic World Dominion. Also, the Buck is a huge part of the lore, with it basically having a large part in the movie, basically dedicated to saving it from poachers and returning it to the mainland. So it's understandable why longtime fans of The Lost World wouldn't like the idea of it being immediately killed off in the next movie. Returning it from the mainland. Apologies. Okay, that's what I said earlier. People are sentimental towards this T-Rex in The Lost World. They don't want to see it die. It's whether or not you care about that or not. I don't care about that. I don't care that it lives or dies. It's a T-Rex. That's it. It's like, yeah, seeing it do all the things in The Lost World and then suddenly get offed in Jurassic Park 3 makes the Spinosaurus more deadly and more like, whoa, okay, we just saw it just off the thing from the previous movie. Do not mess with that Spinosaurus. And it's been 4 years since the other one, so it had 4 years of happy life on the island. And so, yeah, that doesn't bother me. But anyway, I'm getting fresh content. I'm not going to go any more than this. Oh my word, look at all this. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.